This is Raul for Bass Musician Magazine, and we are here in Las Vegas to interview bassist extraordinaire David Pelletier at Cirque du Soleil Mystère. So tell me, David, a little bit about yourself to start out with.
Well, I'm French Canadian. Grew up in the Montreal area, suburbs actually. Started playing music there. Studied music in Montreal for a few years, 3 years. Moved on to Berklee College of Music. 3 semesters in jazz composition and arranging. And yeah, after that I was on my own and gigged and eventually landed at Cirque around my early 30s.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how did that happen? Did you find they were auditioning, or did you get a...
Back then it was, I'd say, a little simpler to get into Cirque. It happened that but first of all, I was around Cirque musicians, people who were leaving to work with Cirque or coming back from a tour, or, you know, they were around, so chat with them. In my 20s, I didn't think it was for me, the touring and everything and what was going on in my life and stuff. But, you know, I turned 30 eventually and said, might be good. My friend, a good friend from high school, drummer, was drumming for the show Alegria, touring show. That was back in 99. He had done the first European tour, 97, 98. He called me, said, our bass player is not doing the next tour. Would you be interested? I said, of course. And that's it. They sent me a cassette tape. I had to re-record myself on a 4-track along with a bassless track that they gave me, and they sent that to the band leader directly on tour. I didn't have to audition per se or anything. The drummer, I had played with him before. He knew me, he knew we were like this, you know.
Excellent.
So,
well, bass and drums always go together.
Yeah,
so I mean, that's
so
that's
we knew that worked.
Yes.
And yeah, I got the gig, and the first. It turns out that Alegria took a break from touring in '99. They went on to settle at the Beau Rivage in Biloxi, Mississippi. Steve Wynn, who had built the Bellagio here, built a smaller version in Biloxi and wanted a Cirque show. The original plan apparently was to create a show for that venue, but they said, we don't know really what the market is there and whatnot, so they decided to take a show, an existing show, and put it there. So I lived in Biloxi, Mississippi for 18 months, basically.
Wow.
And then they realized that the market wasn't good enough all year round, so they sent the show back on tour.
Gotcha. Now, Mystère is the longest running Cirque show on the Strip here in Las Vegas. My understanding it's been going about 22 years. How long have you been with the show?
7.5 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
2008, February 2008.
Is there a book that you read? Are you able to bring some of your own flavor to your playing, or how does that work?
I definitely did. This show is not as rigid as maybe O is, or O is like, I hear it's a Bible. So if you have a whole note to play, then it's a whole note. Don't play anything else, kind of thing, you know. But no, here I kind of made it my own a little. Yes, band leader is like anything goes pretty much, and.
Very cool, very cool.
Yeah.
And I know there's always gearheads that are going to want to know. Tell us a little bit about what you're playing through. What's your gear? What's your weapons of choice?
My gear is very simple. Here I use my fretted bass is a Lackland. I don't know how to
Out of
pronounce
Chicago?
it. Yeah. I forget the exact model number. There's numbers and letters. It's the one with the big soap bar and then a single coil.
Okay.
Great tone, somewhere in between Music Man and jazz bass kind of thing, you know. I like the bass. I like the tone. This is the Skyline series. I may purchase their higher handmade model that they make because I really like everything about it, you know.
Sure.
My fretless is a F bass.
Okay.
From Ontario. The FNB5, I think.
Yes.
5-string.
I've really been impressed. I had a chance to play Alain Caron's fretless, and the growl on that is just fabulous.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is.
Yeah, it can be very dirty.
Absolutely.
I like it. And so I run the Lakeland. I run through a Demeter preamp and the fretless through an old Eden Traveler.
Ah, I have an Eden Traveler, an old one too. Those keep ticking.
Yeah.
Back before before they got big.
Yeah. Yeah. I bought it. I think for the Australian tour with Alegria, which would be 2000, around 2000, 2001.
Nice.
And we only had to send it to the shop once. Like it stopped working for some reason. Came back great. We changed the tubes every once in a while. And
they're serious workhorses.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And dirty with the F.
Yes.
It's great.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
So an AB switch on the floor. That's it.
Do you use any pedals or?
There's one effect for one song. It's a delay.
Okay.
It's an effect kind of like Pink Floyd, you know. I forget the name of the song, but
yeah. I get the idea.
And the album middle. So that's it.
Fabulous.
Yeah, very very clean, simple setup.
Ian, I know you guys work a lot. You know, all the shows that go on. Do you have outside projects that you're working on? Do you get a chance to gig? Are you writing?
I am not so much into playing anymore too much. Okay. I mean, the show for me is enough playing with 10 shows a week, 476 shows a year or so.
Wow.
I'm more into arranging, producing, whatnot. I work with my brother, and who's in Montreal.
Okay.
Guitar player right now. He asked me to arrange some of his stuff, new stuff. It's kind of we used to have a band in the 90s. I guess you could say a little grunge, metal, progressive. And he wants to go back to that, but in French.
Okay.
And I'm working with him on arranging that, with the BFD and whatnot. I play a little guitar so I can fill in parts, or links or stuff,
Of course.
But he sends me riffs, basically.
Nice.
Yeah. And he writes the lyrics, and he's the frontman too. So that's cool. I'm working on that now. At Berkeley, I was way into big band arranging.
Okay.
And that was my big thing back then. And I'm slowly coming back to that, revisiting some old arrangements. So that's a solo thing. You sit there and...
Well, Vegas is highly populated with musicians.
Yeah.
And a lot of really, really good musicians. And one of the CDs that I was sent for review was a big band out of Las Vegas. And I was surprised they had a real serious Latin jazz salsa kind of thing going on. I'm kind of going, wow, these guys are tight.
Yeah.
But, everybody had a wealth of experience to pull from. And when they finally come together, it's just speed.
Yeah, well, I know a couple of big bands here in town, and people who play in them. So I'd love to take a chart or two to them.
Of course,
that'd be great.
Yeah, that would be fabulous.
Yeah.
Coming back to Mystère, we have a special place in our heart for Mystère because it was the first Cirque show that we ever saw. Now we were kind of trying to do the math. I think it was right after it had opened. It's been 22 years. It's been quite some time. So we're really excited to get a chance to both see the show and hear you performing.
Yeah.
So this is just great. Do you have any parting words you'd like to share with the bass people of the world? Because again, we're reaching out to everybody. Words of inspiration. This is a great gig. I mean, I don't think there's enough Cirque shows to go around for all the bass players.
The thing with the Vegas shows is there's not a lot of turnaround in musicians. It's like a dream gig,
Absolutely.
It's a steady job, benefits. So since there's not a lot of turnaround, I mean, I could say you keep on dreaming, guys, but I'm not going anywhere right now. And you know, what's his name on Ka?
Oh, Derek.
Derek, yeah, he's been there for a long time too.
Absolutely.
So, words of wisdom.
Keep practicing.
Keep practicing. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking some time out of busy schedule to talk to us. And again, we really enjoy having the opportunity to interview the bassists with the Cirque du Soleil shows because the shows are so creative and so amazing, and it's such a great venue for musicians and just imagination in general. I don't think I've ever walked out that I haven't just been amazed and on all of the levels of the imagination, the creativity that goes into one of these shows. So again, thank you so much. Make sure when you come to Las Vegas to see Mystère playing at Treasure Island, as it's been for 22 years, and they're constantly creating and working and coming up with new material. So even if you've seen it like we had many years ago, I'm excited to see it again. So thank you again so much, David.
Awesome.
You've seen it here, bassmusicianmagazine.com.